Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Katie and a little late than planned, but we are going beyond the September Scrawlrbox. Of course, if you're new here, it goes without saying, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, especially if you like videos like these. But anyway, enough of all of this chit chat, let's talk about what's going on screen. Now, it may have escaped your notice, but I actually really enjoyed this September box. Now, as I've made it abundantly clear before, I'm not a huge fan of charcoal. I don't like the dust. I hate how it gets into my fingerprints and it's messy. But since receiving this box, something magical happened and I feel like it's unlocked a secret like for this material and this medium. I think I might have just been using it wrong all this time. Well, okay, you are supposed to put it on the paper and smush it around with your finger or a blending stump, but after discovering that some charcoals are water soluble, my goodness, it has opened up a plethora of possibilities, and I found another product which is charcoal, but I'm going to save that for Friday's video, so make sure you are subscribed so you can watch it, because oh my gosh, I am in love with charcoal. I might even start liking it as you're supposed to use it, but we're not going to be too hasty. Anyway, let's talk about the subject. So I thought some sort of baleen whale would be perfect as the subject for this. I thought with the mid-tone paper that we received in the box, alongside these deep, moody charcoals and this fabulously bold, bright chalk we had, it just seemed like painting a whale was the way to go. After smooshing it around a bit with my finger on the page, I went over it with some clean water just to smooth it all out and get a nice crisp edge on it. I mean, I know chalk and charcoal is all about soft edges, but a bit of water, mwah, chef's kiss, it does magical things. Once I'd got the initial layer down, it was time to start going in with details, and this is where a good old-fashioned charcoal pencil comes in handy, and to be fair, I'm pretty tolerant of those anyway. I'm not making direct contact with it, so I was okay with that. And that was ideal for really getting those dark tones in there, because even though when you smush it around or when you add water to it, you're not getting that complete carbon black laydown, so I appreciate the pencil in this. It's still messy though, but it was just perfect for these details. And I also used a blending stump. I know we got one in Scrawlrbox, but I ended up having to use another cleaner one because I'm just a bit like that. I didn't really sharpen them, so I used one I already had. And I have so many blending stumps that I've gathered over the years and never used, but again, I feel like this box is going to make me use all of these supplies that are traditionally only ever reserved for life drawing classes. As we know, the graphite sticks in that box were also water soluble, and I thought they were just perfect to add a bit of a subtle backdrop with the water, and using a flat brush just gave that nice impression of waves, but not too choppy. I mean, we want this to be a nice relaxing looking picture. The tailor's chalk was fantastic for getting a large area of white down, and if I'll be really honest, I am so impressed by how well that re-wets, is that the right word? I mean, it's a dry medium. I guess you don't re-wet it, you just wet it. But I absolutely love how smooth that is, and again, I'm not a massive fan of the mess with chalk and charcoal, but a bit of the water, oh, honestly, loved it. And it was so nice as well to be able to create a nice crisp horizon line there, again just by using one of the sticks and adding the water, just so we have that nice crisp edge. And I quite like the fact we had a bit of perception of depth here. Using the white chalk but as a paint, I just painted it directly on there to give the impression of a few white horses on the waves, just a little bit of movement in there and reflection of the light from above. I did find as well that if things were looking a little bit too contrasty, is that even a word, then just by adding a little bit of additional clean water on there, just made things a little bit more subtle, and again, I liked it. I also introduced some of that white into the top of the background of where the water is, again just so it has a bit more of a natural look and it reflects the sky before we bring things into detail into the foreground. I know I've been a little bit late by putting this beyond the box out, but things have been very busy just lately, but I'm hoping that I'm getting back into a routine again, so of course thank you for your excellent patience. I always feel so lucky by how cool you guys are, and I really appreciate all of the love and support, and thank you. I'm getting a bit emotional there. Once that background had thoroughly dried out, I'm not quite brave enough to add dry chalk to a wet background just yet. I think that's going to be something for another day. But once all that had dried out, it was time to refine some of those details, so that white chalk pastel pencil that we had worked perfectly for it. Just adding those details in and then softening them off again with the blending stumps. I actually like the fact I could create a variety of different reflective surfaces with these. I feel like I've learned a bit more about these materials as I've gone along. I like the sharp contrast of the light reflecting on the waves, as well as the slightly less shiny surface of the whale's skin. To add some of those barnacle-y type details that you often see on whales, I used a tube for what you use to protect the tips of your paintbrush, but let's face it, I don't always keep them. I used that, dipped it into the chalk whilst it was wet, and just stamped it on there. Again, I'm impressed of how versatile these materials were. Have you guys had a material which you didn't like and then it's arrived in a subscription box, or maybe someone's gifted it to you and it's changed your perspective on how you use it and your approach to using them? Let me know down below, because like I say, I feel like this has been one of those boxes which has had a bit of an impression on me art wise. It's not just been a case of, oh, I've got some really fancy supplies here and these are a good name, but I tend not to use them. I'm really impressed by how much I have enjoyed these, and just by changing a perspective on how to use something has perhaps made me fall in love with this material ever so slightly. Even though I'm kind of referring back to painting style, it still means that these materials will get used, they won't go to waste, and I feel like I've learnt something as I've gone along, and isn't that what it's all about? Anyway, here is the beautiful close-up. I'm really happy with this, and if you've enjoyed this video, you are really going to enjoy the one I put out on Friday. Of course, if you can't wait until then, there should be some videos on screen I think you're going to really enjoy, so click on one of them right now. Of course, a massive thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you lovely lots soon. Bye!